393 days. That's how long Michael and Pauline have been missing their daughter Elise. She was run over and killed by a man who was drunk, unlicensed and high. So how is it he could be walking free from jail in 7 years?
Really, at the end of the day, the sentence that this young man received is nothing like the sentence we've been given because of his evil actions.
Michael Hodder will forever be a father without his daughter, heartbroken by the actions of one young man.
Another entitled male that thinks he can drink and drive and couldn't give a damn about anyone else.
Michael wants other families to be saved the same heartache.
This continues because of poor policy, poor legislation in this state.
What do you want people to remember about Elise?
Elise was the most beautiful, gentle, fun-loving young person that you could meet. And society now has lost an angel.
Elise Hodder had beauty and grace, not just in the eyes of her loved ones, but the world. The 24-year-old had begun to do some modelling, with her photographs published in New York fashion magazine Vanguard. But day to day, she was a lifeguard at the local pool and hoping to live a life that would give back.
You know, a young male that wrote to us and said whenever Elise walked into a party or an event, he felt safe.
On the 13th of October last year, she was celebrating her friend's birthday. Her mother, Pauline, dropped Elise off. She spoke to a current affair earlier this year.
As we were driving there, Elise looked at me and said, you're a really special mum. I love you so much. About 7 of them headed off to this party, just looking for, just a nice birthday celebration night. And then within hours, we had the police at our front door.
23-year-old Connor Matheson was unlicensed, but he'd driven his friends more than 50 kilometres from Sunbury on the outskirts of Melbourne to a rave at Kooyong. On the way, he was drinking and was caught speeding by a camera. He got back in his car around 1 a.m. as Elise and her friends were walking through the car park. He reversed into the group, then accelerated forward. Elise was trapped under the car. A police officer who witnessed the collision could do little more than comfort her.
Very thankful to the emergency services that tried to look after our daughter in the night, police, ambulance, fire brigade, and for the young policemen that held our daughter's hand.
In a victim impact statement, her mother Pauline told the court,
"The thought of that being the end of her life, and in those circumstances, without me or Michael there to comfort her, is unbearable. As her parents, we had always protected her and kept her safe. I would have lain beside her, kept her warm, kissed her, comforted her, and told her that we loved her."
Matheson recorded a blood alcohol reading of 0.213%. There were also traces of cocaine and cannabis in his system, but the then 23-year-old was freed on bail after being charged. Judge Robin Harper noting that while he did eventually plead guilty to culpable driving causing death, it wasn't until July this year.
You are clearly immature, as reflected in your statement that prison is on your mind, while others are so clearly suffering as a result of your actions.
The court heard Matheson's mother struggled with mental illness and took her own life when he was 16. He had been drinking and using drugs since his teens.
The drug and alcohol use which you voluntarily engaged in was the cause of this collision.
Matheson's father has stood by his son from the beginning.
Mr Matheson, nothing at all that you'd like to say to Elise's family?
One supporter telling the media there are no winners.
We will continue to support him during his time.
We will. Yeah, of course.
You turned to look directly at him as that sentence was handed down. How do you feel about his response?
He was more worried about prison than killing our girl. I'll leave it at that.
Michael feels families are being failed through the justice system.
I think more broadly in this state, we need a discussion whereby justice community safety and deterrence have an equal part of rehabilitation, because at the moment offenders are given the number one priority in this state, in my view.
He says the government needs to listen to victims from the beginning by giving them a chance to be heard when offenders apply for bail.
On the bail application, we should be entitled to do that. We're not. So at this stage, the offender is elevated and is able to put forward their case, their circumstances, which is not challenged, and the victims are left out of the picture.
For now, Michael and his family have no choice but to face a lifetime without Elise. They only hope the memory of their girl who wanted to make the world a better place can do just that.
Losing such a beautiful angel is not what the world needs.
And the Victorian government told us its work is never complete, and clearly that is the case here. Elise's family deserves better.